Environmental perspective. The main effects of the textile industry on the environment are use of chemicals, water consumption, contribution to greenhouse effect, solid waste, soil degradation and use of finite resources, a threat to biodiversity. The textile industry, in relation to the entire global industry, is responsible for 20% of water pollution. The sector makes an intensive use of chemicals during the extraction and fibers growth processes and, also, during production operations such as spinning, dyeing, finishing or printing. Making a cotton t-shirt requires a consumption of 2,700 liters of water, according to World Wildlife. It's estimated that the textile industry uses 387 billion liters of water per year. Some textile products, fibers and production stages require an intensive use of water, affecting human life or other living species. The textile industry is responsible for 10% of the world's total CO2 emissions, more than the volume of emissions from international flights and sea shipping, according to a 2020 European Union study. The European Environment Agency states that in 2017 each person generated around 8,700 kilograms of CO2 emissions. The 7.5% of these yearly CO2 emissions, 654 kilograms, belonged to textile purchases. Since 1996, the amount of clothing bought in the EU per person has increased by 40%, thanks to the rising of the fast fashion business model, which has also reduced the lifespan of clothing. With this increase in consumption, there has also been an increase in discarded clothes. A large percentage of this post-consumer waste ends up in landfills or incinerators. 58% of the world's textile fibers, such as polyester or acrylic fibers, are made from oil. The production of these materials and finished products depend on finite energetic resources. The remaining comes from natural fibers, like cotton, linen or hemp. Their growing requires intensive use of land, which is no longer dedicated to other crops. In order to be effective and efficient in production, a strong commitment has been made towards monoculture, that is cultivating only one type of plant in a plantation. From an ecological point of view, this option can have negative effects on biodiversity, such as vulnerability to pests, intensive use of fertilizers or pesticides and loss of varieties due to the use of transgenic seeds. To face the environmental challenges, textile industry should operate in different areas. Regarding water use and treatment, is necessary to improve the efficiency of water use and reuse, minimize the use of chemicals and promote a reduction of consumption in garments care. In reference to energy consumption and emissions, the goal would be to minimize the use of energetic resources and produce textiles with lower impact on emissions. An important challenge is to reduce the use of chemicals and materials that pose risks to environment and health. Also, regarding waste generation and management, their minimization is the most important goal. This can be done with an efficient utilization of textile waste, by using garments for as long as possible and adopting new models of consumption based on services, instead of owned goods.